All right, and we are good to go. So we're going to start with you, Levi, since you missed out on all the action on episode 9. So this is episode 9.1. Uh, and when we had last left you, the episode previous to that, you were just pulling into the airport out in Springfield to pick up Uncle Mato.
Yes.
And so you drove up there, and your mom's, I can't remember, a station wagon or pickup truck.
Yeah, it's a wagon or SUV or something like that.
And you pull up to the airport, and he's waiting by the curb already for you when you show up. And he's got like a big army duffel bag slung over his back, and you see him raise his hand to you and recognizes your mom's old SUV.
Yep, and just ease up right next to him, throw it in park.
And he opens up the back door and slings the bag in there, hops in front, leans over, gives you a hug. How you holding up there, Levi?
Oh, all right. If he shut in, he'll shut the door and we'll pull off and drive as I'm talking to him. I'm kind of hurting right now, but I'm more worried about Mom.
Yeah, I thought maybe we could just, I don't know, swing by the hospital on the way home here tonight and just check in.
Yeah, that's perfect. So I haven't checked on her since earlier today.
So do you know what happened? I didn't really get much detail.
Yeah, I didn't want to give too much detail because I think it's something to do with like the family background. To be honest, so I had like a run-in with something, like some sort of creature in the woods. And when I came back home one night, I smelled that creature all over our house, and our house had been broken into. Dad was killed and Mom was hurt. I found her unconscious.
He gives you a real sharp look when you had said that you got into a fight with a creature out in the woods. And he's like, what sort of creature? Someone like us? Or something different?
It seems like us, but different. Like it's like there's like a local legend of a thing called the Howler around here. And I don't know if it was the stress of the situation, but that's what it looked like to me.
What the hell's a howler?
Yeah, and I'll just go into detail about the legends, and every time that the hiker goes missing, that's what they bring up. But it's like big creature with the horns and all that.
So, and you say it messed you up?
Yeah.
But then left you alone?
Yeah, there was, it like yelled out or something, and I couldn't tell if it was pissed off, afraid, or what. I'll even like open up a web page on my phone and hand it to him.
He grabs it out of your hand when you're sitting there trying to type while you're driving down the highway and you're edging a bit out of the lane towards the shoulder. He's like, just tell me where the hell to go on your phone here.
It's on the web browser. It's one of the 100 open browser tabs.
So it's like the Wikipedia entry for the Howler or something, essentially? Or what is it that you're pointing him to?
I have like a web board of my own kind of in research I was doing on it.
You have a Pinterest board of the weirdness? Or a Google Keep page or something like that up for
it? Evernote, Google Keep, whatever, something like that.
He starts going through and he's like, yeah, this isn't what I expected. I thought this was some family troubles that followed us out. Well, not us, followed the family, you and your mom specifically out east here. This is really different. I'm not sure what the hell this thing is. Do you know for sure that
No.
that's what killed your dad and hurt your mom so much?
Well, I mean, I barely understand what's going on with the family myself, but like from what I smelled that fucker all over the place. Our house. It's the only thing that I can think of that did it.
And he takes a big deep breath and he goes, "Yeah, I was hoping that we could work through this in some different way. I didn't realize that you'd kind of entered into, final phase, if you will, here of the family legacy. So, you know that we are essentially Bear Clan, right? And a select few of us have the ability to go through this transformation, and it's not that different from the werewolf legends. And I don't know if those are real or not. I've never run into one of those out in the Pacific Northwest as much as you'd think you would from Twilight and Twilight 2 and whatever the other ones were. But it generally comes down through the mother's line of the family. And with practice, you can exercise actually some pretty decent control over when you'll transform. Uh, but it's really important to be able to control your feelings because if you don't, unplanned transformations can occur and bad things can happen. And I'm sure you know how strong and powerful you are when you transform. And again, as you get your handle on how this plays out, and it's a little different for every one of us, you'll probably only become stronger. And it's going to be more and more important for you to be able to manage how you react to things. I know that's hard at your age.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and I feel like I just kind of been alone with it. But mom and I finally kind of connected again, and then this attack happened. So you're the only person I could think of to call.
Yep. Well, I'm sure it's not your fault, Levi. So don't be thinking that. And he slaps you on the leg and it's like, well, and we'll say there's been a bunch of conversation. You're pulling up to the hospital. It's like, well, let's get in there and see how Anna's doing. Okay.
Yep, perfect. I'll get you in there. And it's just like as like they're moving up, like Levi just still constantly like scanning parking lot and other things, just still spooked that the howler might be tracking them.
Yep. And your uncle picks up on the body language pretty quickly. And he's like, oh no. And you see him he does that huge inhale of breath like you do. And you see the nostrils flare. He's like, I don't know what the howler smells like, but man, I just smell crappy fast food and trash and hillbillies right now.
Welcome to
Awesome. And you get up to your mom's room, and she's still in a comatose state. Non-responsive. They said that she's squeezed hands a couple times when staff has talked to her when they've been like taking pulse and stuff manually and checking on her. And your uncle looks really shaken. He's like, man, kid, I can't believe it. We normally bounce back from these type of things.
that's what I thought too. Um, and I guess if we like look at mom's wounds and I'll like compare them to the ones I have too. So I hadn't had time to do that or thought about
Sure.
that. Because I'm still hurting pretty bad myself.
Oh yeah, you're at 2 out of 4. Yeah, so like you pull up your shirt and show them some of the scars and stuff along the rib cage.
I probably just whip my shirt off. Right.
Yeah, it's the CW. It's kind of, you're contractually obligated, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that's way more scarring that got left behind than what we normally see. Oh, I mean, okay, we already know whatever it is isn't natural, but I don't know. It seems definitely like something that can go up against us. I don't know. This some sort of magic, if you will, that I don't know. Got like witches or anything around here that are messing around with stuff?
Not that I know of, but this town is weird. I've seen just like maybe that's like where we kind of get like a quick recap of montage.
Yeah, the montage
like
of all
the lightning and the game and the ghosts and then the twins being there and
yep.
the kidnapping.
And I cut back into the room and he's like, yeah, and he's like, I don't know, you've got this manufactured hillbilly experience sitting on top of old lands full of old legends that go way, way back. So I don't know, maybe it's some sort of, I don't know, maybe it's the land doing something back. Get rid of all this bullshit that's sitting on top of it. I don't know. It's definitely worth looking into. And he grabs your mom's hand and it's like, Anna, I'm here. Gonna look after Levi now. I just want you to heal up and come back to us here. You hang in there and keep fighting. He squeezes her hand, but he doesn't get anything back. And none of the readings change and all the equipment that's going. And then a nurse comes in. She's like, it's already after hours. And I know that your uncle just came in from out west, but I'm going to be in trouble with the doctor if they come through and you're here. So can I have you guys come back tomorrow at visiting hours?
Yeah, and that's when I suppose like Uncle Maida will nod and look at me, and that's when I said, well, thanks for letting us in anyway, and I pulled my shirt back on.
I forgot it was off. She did the like triple take when she walked in. I totally forgot you had your shirt off.
So weird that you're visiting your mom. Your shirt's off.
Your uncle. Yeah, she gives you like a real side eye. I totally forgot about that. But she just like, it's too uncomfortable to acknowledge it. So she pretends it didn't happen.
Yeah. I'll just kind of like lean as I go, like, thanks. And whatever her name is, Cheryl. See you next time.
And you guys head out, and I assume you're probably going to go back to your place. Or Mateo, not Mateo. I'm so used to talking to Hispanic people.
Sure.
Mato looks at you and he's like, so you okay with going back to the house? Or would you be better if we got a hotel room here in town?
Oh, I think we just go home and I can try to finally patch myself up or something.
And they'll give me a chance to sniff around too.
That's what I was thinking too.
All right. So we'll cut over to Char's. So Char, when we last left off, were you still at home, or
I
had
I was at home and Drake had just come over.
and you guys had the altercation when you saw the save photo?
Right.
Well, but you didn't kill him, so
Right. I mean, I'm making strides.
yep.
Um, but and he left me the phone, so I still have my phone.
Ah, yep.
But he left, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then
So
you were texting, I think, texting back and forth with Colby.
oh right. I was texting
Yeah, I
back and forth
haven't
with Colby.
rewatched.
Yeah, when I watched it the other, I think the last interaction was you texting back and forth with Colby about what you're going to do about Drake. And you both decided that something needed to be done. And I think Gail was included on that just because.
Well, Gail doesn't have a phone. Oh, Gail was.
It's not in the text, but in the planning. Like something
okay.
needed to happen.
So
I'm trying to. Then I think didn't you say that there was like a picture that got sent out on a text thread or something? Do you remember that, Kristen? Was it like a picture of you all upset?
Oh yeah, you sent a picture of you crying and the mascara running to Colby.
Did I send it to Colby or did I send it to Colin? Or both?
I thought there was some sort of thread, and then I even remember someone mentioning maybe me, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did.
Oh yeah, I think you copied, and like several
I copied
people.
all the boys.
Someone feel bad for me. I'm the mortal.
That's why I was trying to think of like where my timeline syncs up with what I would be doing.
Yeah, we're just gonna slot you back in magically like the CW does. So you're at home and you've been texting back and forth with your shiny new phone, and you got, I assume you're using the new phone and not the Kyocera, right?
Right, absolutely. That has been switched over, and I probably threw the Kyocera in the garbage.
Well, from the trash can, you hear beep beep. You got a text message on that.
On the old phone?
Yep.
All right, so I look at the trash can and look at my current phone, and I don't have any notifications on that, right?
No.
So I go to the trash can, get my phone out, and flip it open.
And you see it's from Olivia.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
You want to read it, or you just want to ignore that?
I think I'd sit there and look at it for a minute, and then look at my new phone, and then look back at the Kyocera and go ahead and open it and read it.
It's like, Char, I forgive you, but you got to get me out of here. She's hurting me.
And I text back on the T9 game.
Oh, you could use the other phone now if you want.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, I'll go to my other phone and text her. What do you mean, who's hurting you?
And you just get back, Mom, and then you get a shot, and her nose is just like flattened across her face, and her eyes are blackened.
Where are you?
Home. Can you come get me? I think they're asleep.
I don't remember if I have a working vehicle or not that I can take.
Your dad, no, you have a bike. Your dad takes the car to work.
Right.
You could call a friend. Uber.
Oh, Oh,
She's not real far away from me either. We established that you're kind of close enough that you guys would like kind of walk over to each other's houses at night and go in
right.
through windows.
Let me see if I can call in a favor. I'll be there as soon as I can. I'll text you.
And you get the KK back.
And I pull open my phone and I scroll to Colin's name.
Oh,
I
okay.
say, hey, I know we said Friday, but can I ask a huge favor? Question mark, winky face.
And you get back right away. Sure, what do you need?
Can you come pick me up and take me to Olivia's? No questions asked? Question mark.
You get back OMW. So on my way.
That Colin.
Yep, dependable. Not asking for things like some boyfriends would.
So I text Olivia 10 minutes, meet me by the stop sign.
And there's like no response.
Liv? Olivia? Stop sign?
And just about the time Colin pulls up in his old Volvo out front, you get a message back. And it's just like, okay, give me 15. She's up. Going dark.
Okay. So I go outside and get in Colin's car. I really, really appreciate this. I thank you so much for helping me out.
Hey, it's what friends do, right?
Yeah.
So you said we need to get Olivia?
Yeah, listen. She's got some stuff going on and she doesn't want anybody to know about it. And I can't really tell you what's going on. So I just need you to trust me that everything's okay. But can we go to her house and park by the stop sign about a block down?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Drives you over there. And he just looks over you every so often. He's like, are you okay?
Oh, yes. No. I'm dating Drake. Do you think I'm doing okay?
Well, I've told you what you ditch him. The boy is bad news. I mean, hell, even if you don't want to date me, you should still ditch him.
It's not that I wouldn't want to. It's just I feel like Drake has this like hold over me that I can't break. And I can't explain it. Like I've tried to leave. I tried to walk away from it and I can't.
I believe it or not, I think I actually understand what you're saying. And you know, that's the way I was be so frustrated, but he finally pushed me so far. He just went too far, and I gotta say, it was liberating when he took that swing at me. And I threw him down.
Right. Oh, I remember. It's like he's in my head. Like literally in my head. Like I feel like the minute I start thinking about anything else, my brain is like, no, think about Drake, and I just don't know what to do to get him out of my head.
I recommend a good judo throw. It worked for me.
The judo throw? You think
And
I
he
could
gives
do
you a laugh. I don't know. You look like you can handle yourself. I've heard stories.
Oh, oh, oh. What kind of
What?
stories?
You've got a real temper? Drake was mouthing off about it. Talk about how you shoved him?
Well, I only shove people when they deserve it. That's very few and far between. I'm very nice.
I
Very
think so.
sweet temperament. I don't know. I think I need something to get my mind off Drake. He's obviously got things that are keeping his mind off me, so
Well, if I can't be what keeps your mind off of Drake, maybe helping your friend Olivia out here will do that.
I mean, yeah. She said she's going to be about 15 minutes or so, so we've got a little bit of time.
And he looks over and he's like, what do you want to do? Kill the time.
I don't I don't know. Anything at this point to keep my mind off Drake. Anything.
And he leans over. I was just looking to see if you had any strings on him. I cannot believe you don't have a string on Colin.
I was just wondering about that. Is that like
and,
is somebody rolling for hot?
That's
like,
definitely turned someone on because I'm definitely reading the subtext. Although teenager me would have just totally not would have over my head.
Okay, let's just talk about stuff. That would have been me.
So I'm running this D&D campaign. It is so cool.
Let me tell you about my character.
Yeah, roll with hot, please.
All
Char.
right. So 6 and so 8.
So that is a mixed result. So on a 7 to 9, they can either give you a string or choose one of the reactions. Well, he gives himself to you.
Yeah.
So you guys start making out. And let's see, let's look at your sex move here. So when you have sex with someone, awakens something sinister within. Next time you take your eyes off of them, they become their darkest self. Oh, okay. Well, so
he's immortal.
Drake's going to go darkest self again. And I don't know what'll happen to poor. Well, we'll work out what happens to Colin once you're done with your dalliance and time killing here.
So the
question, if he actually tunes in on you to see that.
Oh yeah, we gotta. Drake will definitely know what's happening.
Yep.
So
yeah. Go ahead.
The real question though is, Colin is so boring in real life. Is that kind of boring that flows over into his physical nature, or is it complete opposite?
It depends. So, well, I can see this going either way. Which is more interesting for you?
I mean,
do you want him to be a total fireball once it turns into?
I think yeah.
Because then you've got that like, oh, so dull. But hey, if we hop in bed, it's so much fun. Okay.
Right. I think that's a fun because
yeah,
it makes for better scenes in the future.
Yeah, totally. So,
and it's almost like in the moment, like he was saying the right things, and people sometimes, even born people, sometimes they just get in the groove and hit it right. Like he was in a groove just then. Like they're bonding over a mutual dislike of someone. That happens a lot.
Yeah, so it's tight sex, comforting sex, attractive people sex. And so he's just rocking your world. And you guys are just about ready to jump off the cliff and tunk, 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 tunk on the window. And there's Olivia. And she looks a mess. And she looks kind of horrified at seeing you guys going at it, whatever it was you were doing in the front seat there. At least you didn't move to the back seat or and fold it down. That would have been really bad. And she just gets in real quiet and she's like, can we go?
And I kind of like push Colin off me and just say, go, let's just go.
Yeah, and he turns around, he just says, holy shit. And he actually kind of peels out a little bit because he's so disturbed by the way she looks, and then the embarrassment of her having been there and then being mortified at like having fun. And yes, well, he's a pianist. And he also can play drums and stuff. So he's got great rhythm and is very dexterous. So, yep, he's gifted. Well, yeah, and Drake called out that he's extremely well endowed.
Yes.
That's right. I forgot about that. Thanks, Drake.
Right?
Only the best friends for Drake.
Right. So, Olivia, what happened?
And she breaks down just crying. And then after a minute or so of that, she kind of, doing that thing where you can't quite breathe right. And she's like, my mom she went nuts after the hospital. And I know you didn't mean to leave me behind there with a dead person, but my mom says I've ruined our family name, and it just proves that I'm never going to be good for anything and that I'm trash, and that I should just be out of school, just get a job, pop some babies out. That's all I'm ever good for.
Olivia, I did not mean to just leave. I thought you were with us still. Honest, I did not know you weren't with us until it was too late to turn back.
And she starts crying really hard. I was so alone.
If I could take everything back and be the one that was in the room that got left behind, I would do it. My life's the one that is probably going nowhere. What did she do to you?
Just like hit me a lot.
Olivia, you've got to get out of there. You can't stay at home anymore.
I know. I honestly, and she just stops. She's like, I thought she might kill me this time. And Collins just goes, holy shit. Again, kind of sotto voce, afraid to be part of the conversation.
Colin, you have to promise you are not going to say anything to anyone about this.
Swear to God. And he literally does the Boy Scout 3-finger thing to you.
So boring.
Yeah, but you see those 3 fingers and you're like, what?
Sense memory is taking over.
Olivia is, let's see, did we say you guys are juniors or seniors? Juniors, she's either 16 or 17.
Okay. So not old enough yet to be out on her own.
Well, Missouri is a weird state. You could probably get away without even being emancipated unless someone calls you out on it. You get some school official who's really invested, or some cop who thinks he's got to do the right thing and actually make things worse. But so
and I think that's what Char's like thought process would be too, is like, we have to go to the police. Like, your mom can't do this to you. We have to go to the police. That's the answer.
And she just starts freaking out, and she's like, stop the car. And she's like pulling the door open, and Colin pulls over, all freaked out, and she's climbing out. And she's like, I will not go to the police. I'm not going home to my mother.
Okay, fine. Can you get back in the car? We won't go to the police. We won't go to the police.
You swear?
I pinky promise.
And she kind of gives a sob laugh and holds out her pinky to you. Does that and gets back in.
But you can't go home.
Well,
You can't.
I know, at least not for a while. Where can I go? I mean, well, they're gonna look for me at your place. I'm almost positive.
And with everything that's gone on, I don't think my dad would let you stay. He already knows that I'm a delinquent at this point. Colin, do you know a place that Olivia could stay for a while? Undetected?
Ooh.
Ooh.
What do we think? This is where if he had a string, I could say you could just pay it and he would make something happen, but you don't have that.
I like Jeremy's idea.
Oh, I missed it. The goldenrod, that's what I was thinking in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that Colby already hangs out, and maybe Colby could protect her.
Oh. Colby. Let's call Colby. You could always maybe stay with him for a little bit.
And she's like, would his folks be okay with that, do you think? Because I don't think she knows that he's off on his own.
No.
Oh wait, she spent some time over there, didn't she? The goldenrod.
No, she didn't spend time there, but he may have mentioned possibly when they were at dinner at the Lamplighter that night, and then her mom showed up and yanked her out of there because
That's right.
Someone wrecked their car or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know who would have done that.
Some delinquent, probably. So you throw that out there, and she's like, well, as long as his folks won't, because my parents have no idea about Colby. Can you call him?
Yeah, definitely.
She's like, I've got my phone off. I'm afraid she'll track me.
That's fine. I have a new phone now, so.
It's this proud teen moment. You pull out your really fancy, huge iPhone. Look, my boyfriend murdered someone for it. Isn't it nice?
So we'll just.
That's probably, yeah. I was gonna say that's probably a good cutoff point if we give Jim a chance to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's cut back over to the Honeycut / Walker abode.
So something I was thinking about, like while that was going on, if I'm like healing up, and then the uncle was maybe casing the place.
Yeah.
I don't know if having my uncle help patch me up qualifies as erotic subtext in the right way we want to do. But
no, probably not.
Just,
but it does reduce your harm by 1.
Yeah. So maybe like he had just got done casing, sniffing out there, coming in the field, and he's coming in the patio door, and I'm coming into the bathroom, like out of the bathroom with like an alcohol swab or something, and healing myself up. And
yeah, and he, wraps you and does all that stuff.
Just like, I guess we're still at night then at this point.
Yeah, it's late night, we're gonna say.
Yeah.
And so go ahead.
Yeah, so I think so, like through like the patio door, like the moonlight's kind of shining down in silhouette, and like you kind of actually see him as he comes in. Like it looked like there was a bear out there at first, and then you look again and he's kind of shrunk back down and he steps in.
Yeah, very good effect. And so we see your uncle moving through the house, and he's like, just let me go through and then you can come and tell me what happened where, but I just want to try to take this in without any being pushed sideways on it. And he comes back and is like, yeah, I definitely smell something, and it's, I don't know, kind of, I don't know, like mountain lion-ish, but something else. And he's like, do you smell that weird bitter there? That kind of that black walnut lurking in the background. And when he says that, you're like, ah, that's what one of the weird, strange off smells.
Mm-hmm. It's like, wow, I didn't realize tracking was kind of like tasting wine. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's like, and he starts talking through the like how to open your palate up essentially for when you're taking scents in to be able to use them for tracking and identifying things. He's like, you'll find that you can probably even like sense people's fear and stuff as you get a handle on this.
Well, I noticed that sometimes if I really focused on it, I could see pretty lucid visions. So, like, maybe I could try to show you what I saw.
And he gives you a look when you say that. Yeah, visions. He's like, visions? That's not something I've experienced. I've heard of that, but that's not been real common in our family. I think grandma had that.
Well, I don't remember it super clearly. I know that when I really focused in on when I was tracking, I kind of, maybe that's I don't know. As I feel like I lost control when I slid slid too much into the vision, so I'm a little wary of doing it. But I felt better about it when I was outside in the moonlight. That's when I really could control it.
So if I'm here with you, are you comfortable trying to do that again yet tonight? Because he like looks over where the light is shining into the room through the big patio door, and he's like, you know, nearly full moon. A lot of power there. Got
Yeah,
me here with you.
yeah, let's try it. Maybe I can do something you haven't heard of before.
All
And
right.
so I'll step into the moonlight.
Yep.
I'm there, bend down on my haunches and kind of breathe in real deep, and then look up and my eyes open and they're that reflective bear looking
Mm-hmm.
eye. And then just try to roll that gaze into the abyss.
Roll with dark, please. Add 3.
So that's an 11.
Holy cow.
I mean a
crushed
12.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Plus 3.
All right, give me a second to think on this here. All right, so you get these like first person visuals as if you were moving through the brush, and you realize that you're seeing through the eyes of the howler for a minute, and then that pulls up and out, and you like zoom way out and you see that it's down in the Ozark Mountains, and it's working through trails, and you see it come into this clearing, and on the other side of the clearing is this, looks like a white deer with like long rabbit ears and white antlers. And then you see stepping in to this clearing, see this dude who looks like, I don't know, maybe late to mid 30s. and he's really good looking. But it's weird as you see him, you see he has this, his beard is actually made of moss. He's like wearing buckskins and, like homespun clothing. Looks kind of like a hippie to some extent. And you can see that they're talking to each other, and you can smell moss, black walnut, snow. And you can see that looks like that guy is almost looks like he's either giving them direction or just communicating with them. And you catch just one little hint of scent off of him that's almost like kind of patchouli. And it just, the little flicker of Jade or Hardin or whatever her name is crosses through the back of your mind. And that's just a super loose association that might snap in depending on what you're presented with. So it's like that thing where it's lurking there, or the word on the tip of your tongue you can't quite get off. But we know which way we're playing towards there. And then that vision dissipates. And your uncle looks at it and he's like, you were really gone there. And you look down, you see you've like got the hair has gone all the way up your arms to your shoulders. And you can feel that your jaw structure has changed out. And he's like, deep breaths, you can come out of this so we can communicate here.
I think within that moment of like being in between just slightly transformed or whatever, when he comes in, it's like breathe and come back, that I'll like actually reach out with both hands and like place them on either side of his head and kind of like breathe into his face. And I think some tendrils of like the vision, at least of that, the howler can kind of come through a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah. So you see his eyes just pop open and lock onto you. And he actually falls back from you when you take your hands off his head. And he, does that kind of spider crawl back from you. And he's like, my God. Okay. I have no idea what the hell that howler thing is. Holy shit. You can do this? Like all the time?
No, that's my first time, Monk. It's not something I can control, but I feel like when I have that connection with the moon, that I feel comfortable doing it. I've tried it other times and it doesn't work. Or it sets me off out of control, at least.
Yeah, trying to bridge that human to animal nature is really difficult. Requires a lot of effort, focus, things that can be hard to do. All right, so now I know what it looks like. I know what it smells like. We've got each other. And then he steps into the patio and comes back out with his duffel bag. And he zips it open. And you see his clothes in there, but then there's 2 hard cases inside of it. And he lays those out and opens them up out on the patio in the moonlight. And you see one's a really frickin' nice compound bow. And the other case has a really nice long arm. He's like, I don't know. Think we hunt this thing one way or another.
Shit, you got that thing on the airplane?
Checked it. You got to check
okay.
that stuff. He's like, he looks at the duffel bag. It's huge. And he's like, that wasn't carry-on.
Let's go hunting.
All right. Let's take a quick break. I need to get some more
Cool.
water, and I will be right back, and we'll see how things are looking for Jim. Wow, it's 8:00. So, and if Jim doesn't make it, then maybe we'll wrap up here in a little bit because we got we'll figure out how to hook Levi in with stuff. Well, we could have you guys drive by the goldenrod or whatever on your way out to go hunting. Although that'll probably be in the morning. Anyways, let me think about it for a bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll get going here.
Cool.
What time's your flight, Kristen? Early?
No, it's at 1:30, I think, 1:15, somewhere in there. But with TSA,
Especially now.
that and weather here. We had a lot of snow today, so
Oh, did you? Yeah, we lucked out. We're just getting really cold weather, but no snow.
we got a lot of snow, and it was like the most inopportune time for my uncle to decide that he wasn't gonna come over and snow blow the three car wide driveway that I have.
Oh,
So,
man.
yeah. So I had to do it all by hand and just by shoveling, and it took up like 2.5 hours of my day that I didn't
Holy
intend
cow.
to. Yeah. It's well, and like I put it on Facebook too. I was like in the middle of like hand shoveling out my garage, and the city plow and like just dumped what they had plowed from the street right in front of my garage. So not only did I have to then, you know, hand shovel my garage, but then I had to hand shovel the ice and like 2-foot wall that they had built of snow.
Yeah, and that's like concrete when it gets pushed hard like that.
Right. I
You
actually
got to
like
get it right away too.
right, and I literally threw my hands up at them like as they were driving down the street, and I was like, I yelled at them. I was like, "What in the actual fuck?" So,
You're supposed to throw your hands up like that.
right? I was, I was
Because
so
you know
annoyed.
they're not. It seems so smug, the way the just plows it right in front.
Right.
But you know they're like, we just got to get this shit done.
Well,
Sorry.
and like, so Kevin, you know, I don't know if you know our area well at all, but
You said
we're
Quad Cities?
yeah, we're the Quad Cities, and
Yep.
like, there's 4 main cities: Davenport, Bettendorf, Rock Island, and Moline. And Moline is already known for having the worst, like, snowplow emergency, like, response. And so it was like the one time that you actually plow the day that it snows, you just push all of the like. I would rather you didn't even plow at all than push all of the snow to where I now have to deal with it by hand. So
Oh,
it was annoying.
yeah, super awesome.
Yeah. So I'm earning this vacation.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, at least you should be able to sleep tonight after shoveling for a couple hours.
Hopefully, yes. But I also have that excited buzzing, like I'm going to Vegas.
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right. So let's see. We have Char, Olivia, and Colin in the Volvo talking about going over to the Goldenrod. And since I don't know if Jim's going to be able to make it, I don't want to pad this out a whole bunch with just blah, blah, blah. We'll say that you try Colby and you don't get a pickup. What do you do?
Olivia, I just, without Colby answering, I just don't know. I don't know where we can go. I don't know. Do you have a key to the coffee shop?
And she's like, "Oh, I don't," because she's got that stuffed up nose. And Collins just looks over and he's like, I don't want to butt in, but can we just let's just go over to Collins' place at least. Maybe he's asleep and has his phone in silent mode or something like that, or it's
Maybe he's in silent mode.
and he gives you this weird look. Olivia doesn't really click on that. She's all wrapped up in all her pain and fear. He's like, okay, so where are we going?
Do you know the old Goldenrod?
Oh, out by the highway there?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's near that. And he kind of pulls a turn around and starts driving out towards the highway.
He actually, it is there. He lives there.
What? Really? I thought that place was up for sale. His folks own it? Okay, that's cool. Oh, at least I'll have a place they can put you, Olivia.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a place that's available, uh, at least for the time being. But Colby's really weird about his parents owning it, so if we could just not say anything about that to him, that would probably be best.
And so we've established that the most important part of building a strong teen relationship is lying and lying often. He's like, nope, that's cool. And Olivia's like, and she looks up, she's like, I thought his parents like dropped him off here from Utah or something. So they like bought that place? Are they back?
I just look at Colin and I say, she must be really, like, I kind of whisper, like, she must be really out of it.
And she just looks, she already looks shell shocked, and she does look like someone who's kind of out of it. She might even be concussed from the shellacking she took. And so we'll have you guys pull up at the Goldenrod. Meanwhile, back at Levi's place, Uncle's like, so feel like skipping school tomorrow and maybe doing a little hunting? Can you remember where you ran into that thing?
I remember where I ran into it, and I already have an excused absence from school, so I think everything fallen into place for this.
All right, well, let's turn in for the night then. And we'll get our hunt on tomorrow.
Sounds good. Our eyes glow.
Yes, we get one last splash of moonlight as he bends over to pick up the hard cases and put them back into the duffel bag and bring him back into the house. And maybe we get the montage of him cleaning the rifle before bed and you playing around with the compound bow and stuff. And then we've got back at the Goldenrod. I think we're going to end with Char and Olivia. Are you going to have Colin come with you, or are you going to tell him to wait in the car?
You know, I feel like Colin, with all his boringness, is the kind of guy that like will like step on his own toes to like help at the same time. Like,
I think he'll do whatever you want him to do almost at this point.
oh, that's good.
I mean, you had hot sex with him.
Right.
You brought him into your life, but I think you're picking up on he's almost like, oh, I've got the shiny. I don't want to screw things up with the shiny. I'll do it, you know. So he seems to be looking to you for cues. He's like, you see him like when he puts his hand on the door handle, he looks at you and he's like,
Colin, Colin, stay in the car and text if anybody drives up or comes up or approaches, okay? Please?
yeah, sure. And he just gives you kind of a scared look. He's like, are her parents coming after her right now?
No, I don't think so. And they wouldn't know to look for you anyway. And I put my like hand on his arm and I kind of like squeeze it a little bit. Just trust me.
Roll hot.
Oh, yes. Ooh, 8 plus 2, that's 10.
Yep, you nailed it. Literally earlier. So on a 10 plus, you get a string. So mark that string you have on Colin now. And then he's going to promise. So he looks and he goes, I promise I'll protect you. I've got your back. I've got your back. I mean, and he's like, you know what? Just to be on the safe side here, I'm going to go ahead and turn the car around. So if we need to get the hell out of here, we can. You just take care of her, okay, Char? You're a really good person taking care of her like that. And he looks so sincere.
And I give his arm another squeeze, and I'm like, I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate it. And I give him a wink.
Yeah, and he flushes. And then I think we see you and Olivia walking up, because you know which room, obviously, Colby's. Are you going to go up to Colby's room and knock?
Yes.
So I think we're going to end right there with you going dunk, dunk, dunk. And that's where we'll stop for tonight. It's a good ending spot, and we've got then the hunt in the morning, and we can start trying to work everyone back together, hopefully, here, if we can ever get 4 or 5 schedules to line up again. So,
right.
All right, I'll send out a doodle later tonight since we're finishing up so early, and I'll let Jim know that we wrapped.
Okay.
And that he ruined everything. And
he did.
Damn you, Colby, with all your sads.
Well, thank you for running it, Kevin, even though it was just the 2 of us. It was fun.
It worked out fine. I mean, I hope you were okay with having your own things kind of siloed off, but it would have felt too contrived to jam you together right now.
Right.
Yeah, and it felt like that's kind of where I was anyway. I've kind of moved away, and now it's time to get back into it.
Yep.
That's a good step.
All right. Well, have a nice evening. Have a super good trip, Kristen. I hope not to read about you in the newspaper or see you on the national news.
I won't get in that kind of trouble.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.